All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome. I'm here with my friend, Mark Sestilio. Mark, how you doing today?
Great, man. How you doing?
Good, good. Now, where are you? What right now?
I am in Tampa, Florida.
Tampa, Florida. Cool. Well, tell folks who don't know you what you do and how you got started in real estate business.
Sure. A little bit about me. I've been doing it quite a long time. I've been in real estate a little like 13, 14 years. I started out with an investment company, wholesale brokerage. That was kind of a new thing back then. And we had a team of guys, acquisition associates and sales associates, and I got in on the sales side. So I learned kind of the wholesale business and how that worked. And that was, right around the time, right after the great economic crash. And so I did that for a couple of years and, kind of learned the ropes. And then through that, I met a local real estate investor that had been his whole life, and he owned a lot of property and was looking for kind of another right-hand man. So I became his project manager, property manager, leasing manager, kind of all those sales manager. And that's really where I learned kind of the construction side of the business. So I did great experience there. And then I did that for about a couple of years, and then went out on my own with a joint venture partner to start flipping houses ourselves. Previous to that, we were flipping 30, 40 houses a year, with the person that I was working under. And, after going out on my own, we obviously had to start a little bit smaller than that, but, started doing some pretty sizable renovations on property and was doing pretty good. And then, I guess probably around 2017, 18, we really started feeling the pinch of the changing market and competition and that sort of thing. And we started to make adjustments and realized that we had to do different things to market our company and to find new deals. And, to right now, today, we're doing about 25 deals a year. We're renovating properties, holding rental properties, and doing some wholesaling as well. And but we're really consistent now, and I have a small team, and we're even in this crazy market, this super competitive market, we're doing pretty well.
Very good. So and I want you, because you have a lot of experience, so you're going to be able to answer this question better than anybody. We want some real scoop, not just like hot housing market or the market's on fire. Everybody talks about that. But what are some trends that you've noticed in your local housing market that maybe other people haven't noticed? What are some things that are happening that maybe people are missing? Or what are some of the finer details of what's really going on from where you guys see?
I kind of mentioned that in 2017, 18, we started feeling the pinch and making adjustments. And really all that came down to was us not being very educated on appropriate marketing. And, we were doing some marketing and we had a little bit of a network, but it was really simple, and it wasn't complicated, and it wasn't enough. And at that time, we started to realize those things. And I think, I guess to answer your question, what's how did you say it? The fine points of our market, or, it all comes down to networking, and then kind of knowing your niche and knowing what you are, what you're looking for, and also relationship building. We've like I said, I've been doing it a while, but that didn't mean necessarily that the deals would just keep piping in, unless we had systems and processes in place to consistently market. and consistent marketing should breed, consistent deals. And yeah, like I said, a few years ago, we kind of came to that realization, and now we're very consistent, and we do a lot more marketing, and we're seeing the deals come in because of that.
Yeah, and we know you're very good at marketing, and it's kind of the difference between being in the business of helping homeowners with their homes, to being in the business of marketing to help homeowners with their homes. Putting that marketing stamp first is, like you said, really the key. So when you're marketing in your area, who is, somebody's listening in the local area, they need some help with their house, who's kind of like an ideal person that you can help, and who's somebody that's like probably not a good fit for your company?
Well, great question. I think, in this last few years, I've also added some tools to my tool belt.
Mhm.
And one of those is, coming aboard with you and in different marketing strategies. And then also potential different exit strategies to provide for a service for the client or the seller of the house. We used to be just a kind of a one-trick pony. Low ball cash offer, and try to find the needle in the haystack. And then especially in the last couple of years, also with the pandemic and everything, we've kind of made some adjustments and educated ourselves on different exit strategies. I am a licensed realtor, so we offer a cash purchase option, a listing option on the MLS, seller financing options, and lease purchase options. So now, our pitch to individuals that are looking to sell, like, we're not a one-trick pony anymore. Like, we have different options for you, and if any of these options fit, that's great. Whatever's most important to you, we're fine with that. So we've had to educate ourselves on how to do those things, and make things work for our business.
Wonderful, wonderful. Now, you've seen, market cycles before. There's a lot of people who get online and they just start talking about how, they just got all this, they just know how to predict everything, which, by the way, nobody can. And, every prediction's wrong just by how much and in what direction. If we could predict all this stuff, we wouldn't be talking. We'd already just be gazillionaires. So so you're not going to do that because you're smart. But you've been through a downturn. You've done this a while, and you've learned lessons, and school of hard knocks too. But what do you see kind of coming in your crystal ball for the Tampa real estate market, Florida real estate? What based on previous lessons that you've learned, what do you think is coming down the pipe?
Well, man, I'm really excited about Tampa, or the Tampa Bay market. Like, I've looked at kind of some of the statistics of nationwide real estate. I don't believe everything that's out there on the news and media and that sort of stuff. Because we work in the wholesale market, not the retail market.
Right.
And so there's always people that need to sell their house for whatever reason. There's always kind of those things like death, divorce, foreclosure, tax deed, or delinquencies, and those sort of things. And that's always going to be there. Unfortunately, there's going to be people that need to sell houses, and those are the people that we help out. And I guess to answer your question about Tampa, I'm still very excited about where Tampa Bay as a whole, and maybe even all of Florida as a whole, is going. And I think there's a lot of other markets around the country as well. I do believe that there's going to be, some sort of adjustment in the next, 12 to 24 months. But like you said, I definitely can't predict that. So we're just we're doing what we can right now to do deals and make money. And I think as things start to adjust, we'll start to feel those things, and then we'll start making adjustments. But you know, if the market starts to level off a little bit, like the appreciation, the crazy appreciation that's happened, you know, in the Tampa Bay market and other places in the country, if that starts to level off a little bit, then, you know, we'll have to make some adjustments and go from there. But I personally don't think that there's going to be a significant adjustment in Tampa Bay. There's so much demand here. It's pretty awesome to see, to be honest with you, because I've been living here a long time, and I've seen the transition. And you know, I wasn't particularly happy when I moved to Tampa, with Tampa, but I couldn't be happier to live in Tampa now, with everything that's going on and the development and things to do and that sort of stuff.
Yeah, yeah. I was just there beginning of September, and it was great. You know, I love going to Tampa. And, you know, I know about this. I really like this quote by Jeff Bezos, and he says, you know, people always ask him like, what's going to change? What's going to change in the next 10 years? And he says, you know, it's really hard to predict the future, even for him. He's a pretty smart guy. He said, what's easier to predict is what's not going to change. And so for his business, he's like, I just can't foresee a future where people say, you know, I love Amazon, but I wish that you had less selection and it cost more and it took longer to get to my house. He's like, I can't envision a future like that. So we're going to, you know, make cheaper, more, you know, selection, and get it to them faster. And because when you know what isn't going to change, you know, you can actually build like a business around that. And so when I'm thinking about Tampa, maybe you agree, disagree. I think in the next 10 years, what's not going to change is the largest age group in our country is going to keep moving there because it's warmer and it's nice. And I can't for the life of me figure out why it's not totally full, because it's like one of the nicest places. Do you feel the same way?
I totally feel the same way. You know, we have a large population of seniors in this area, and especially even a little bit further south. I grew up in Charlotte County, so that's about an hour and a half south of Tampa, and I also am marketing and doing deals down there.
Cool.
And that's you know, that is not going to change. And to your point of that not going to change, like I kind of mentioned, you know, divorce and tax delinquency and foreclosure and those things, they're not going to change. Like it's going to happen for sure. So.
Yeah, and when people get older, they want to move to warmer climates. And my friend builds houses down in Cape Coral, which, you know, I feel like I'm just like, how do you have all these open lots? Like the Gulf Coast of Florida has not filled in nearly as fast as the Atlantic side. And I'm like, you know, eventually that side is going to get too full, too expensive. They already got stuff in Titusville and all these places nobody's ever heard of. And now, you know, it's like it's filling up the whole thing. So to me, the logical thing would be, okay, they're not just going to go all the way to Arizona because that's getting expensive too. They're going to start filling up that whole Gulf side because the Gulf side's nice.
Yeah, it's great. You know, it's July and August are a little rough with the heat and the rain, but other than that, man, it's great. I mean, we're close to the water and the beaches and that sort of stuff, and it's really great. And I agree with you completely. I think people right now are, and they have been for the last several years, just flocking down to this area. So
yeah,
another point, like I don't think that's going to change.
no.
So,
I don't know. My friend just moved to the Panhandle, you know, I guess that's what y'all call it, like, you know, the Destin area, and he lived in Alabama. And, you know, it's like, it just didn't make sense because there's no state income tax. But before I forget, you mentioned seniors. So I want to, as we're kind of wrapping up, I want to give you a big congrats on becoming a published author. That's obviously something not a lot of people do. What made you decide to go this route, and what do you plan on doing with your newest book?
Yeah, sure. I appreciate that. And it's great. I think Through my years of doing real estate, talking with sellers, and doing deals, I somehow or another, a lot of the deals that I ended up doing were with senior homeowners, and I feel like I had kind of a connection there. I think they're um, uh, generally speaking, like a little bit easier to talk to, and you can kind of really feel like you're helping them out with this transition. And so I've done a lot of I've bought in a lot of houses from senior homeowners, whether that's them actually their house that they're living in, or the kind of more unfortunate side of houses that have been in probate or inherited houses, which typically the new owner, the heir is a little bit up there in years as well. But both of those scenarios I've been pretty successful with, and then authoring this book, I think, really gives me a lot of extra credibility there, to kind of just show that I have the experience with them, and I have options, and I'm here to help. And my plan is, to kind of just scale on that a little bit. I do kind of market to a wide area, but we've kind of niched it down a little bit more as time has went on, to kind of keep it in a little bit closer to home, and help the people kind of in my local community. And it's working well.
Awesome. Well, if somebody in your area, they're watching this and they want to either get a copy of your newest book, or they just want to reach out and get some information or ideas about what to do with their house, whether they're moving to the area or they're wanting to sell their home for whatever reason, one of those reasons that you mentioned, what is the best way for them to contact you and your team?
Yeah, sure. So Bridgeway Property Solutions is my company. And you can email me at mark@bridgewaypropertysolutions.com. And or my website is bridgewaypropertysolutions.com. Phone numbers are on there, and you can find that, and reach out that way, and or send me a direct message. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram as well, and just search Bridgeway Property Solutions, and I'd love to speak to anybody that's interested in talking and networking, and kind of go from there.
Awesome. Well, good. Well, if it's okay with you, we want to have you back on, in a few months, just kind of a market update, any changes that you're seeing in Tampa. Does that work okay for you?
Yeah, absolutely, Max. That'd be great. I'd love to. I appreciate you having me on this time, and
Yeah.
definitely would love to do it again.
Awesome. Well, that's what we'll do. That's what we'll plan on. So thank you for watching today. And if you like this video, make sure to check out Mark's information down below. Reach out to him and his team. They're awesome. I totally recommend them. And if you like this video, you can check out some of our other expert interviews. And until next time, we'll see you later. Bye, everybody. Take care.
All right.
Bye, Mark.
Thanks, yeah, appreciate it.